What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Analysis Series. Today we're going to be talking about Operation Ivy and Take Warning from their 1989 album, Energy. Great album. If you are new to this series, you can check out the previous video of Part 1, which is going over knowledge. That goes over some borrowed chords as well as chord progressions and different topics like that. We're going to continue that discussion with Take Warning, and we're going to look at the voicings that are used in some of this for that reggae ska feel, which you can use for your guitar playing if that's what you're into. I think everybody should learn these voicings on the treble strings. They're just good voicings to have, and we'll talk about that. So we're just going to go through the song. I'm going to break down the song, talk about the theory behind it, and keep things moving. This song is a little bit on the easier side compared to some of these other ones. A lot of the punk rock stuff is pretty straightforward, but it doesn't mean it's not valuable. It's very valuable, and all of the stuff that is used can help you be a better guitar player, especially if you are a novice or beginner guitar player. So it's all good stuff. This is some of the stuff that I learned playing when I was first coming up with the electric guitar, and it's great material. So we'll get into it. We're going to look at the first riff in the intro of the song, and it starts with that, we're going to use a power chord shape. Alright, so that power chord shape is going to start on the B, or 7th fret, then it's going to go D sharp, 6th fret, we're going to be on the 5th string, then it's going to go C sharp, back to D sharp, and then back to B. Pretty easy, 3 chords. And that's the beauty of punk rock, is its simplicity, because often in punk rock music it's more about the message of what's being conveyed and the communal aspect of sharing a musical experience together. So not everything has to be super complicated, not everything has to have tons of chords. Sometimes less is more. So that's a great little opening riff there. And it gives you a sort of B major feel. It is B major, so B, then you're going to have the notes in there are B, F sharp, B, because it's the root, the 5th, and the octave. And then we're going to go to the D sharp, which starts on the D sharp. Then you're going to get that A sharp, and then the D sharp again. Then we're going to go over to the C sharp, G sharp, C sharp. So the sharps that we have so far are F sharps, C sharps, and G sharps. We have A sharp in there. So we can say that this is in B major. B major has the following sharps: an F sharp, a C sharp, a G sharp, a D sharp, and an A sharp. Has all those sharps for B major. So that gives you definitely a happy major feel. You can feel that. It definitely has that B major feel. Then, when we're going to get into the chorus, that's where the different voicings come. So, it's the same type of riff. So, we'll say B is 1. The D sharp is 3, because B, C sharp, D sharp. C sharp is 2. So, B is 1, C sharp's 2, D sharp's 3. So, this main progression is a 1, 3, 2, 1. Just like a chromatic type of progression we saw in some of our Ramones tunes that we worked on. And if you haven't seen that, you can check out the previous videos before Operation Ivy, where I was talking about the Ramones and going through their material. So then, with the chorus, it's just going to take those same chords and just put them up in a higher voicing on the treble strings. So the first chord is going to be that B major. And this voicing is a good voicing to know for these chords. And so you're going to start off with a D sharp up top. That's the 8th fret on the G string. Then you're going to the F sharp, which is the 7th fret on the B string. And then you're going to go to the B, which is the 7th fret on the E string. It's a very good voicing for a major chord, and it is inverted, which is good to know because that lowest note is going to be that D sharp. So if we take a look at how chords are built, we have triads, which are 3-note chords, and usually you build in thirds. So you're going to have a B, which just means every third note. So think of letter names. So we got B, C, D would be the third note, right? So that B, D, and then we need to go another third up, and then you get the F sharp, D, E, F. So a B major triad has the notes B major, D sharp, F sharp. All right, and then if you take a look at this chord voicing, D sharp is the lowest pitch. So that means the B's moved over to the top of the chord, and now the D sharp is the lowest note, and we can call that a first inversion. So that's B major first inversion on the treble strings. Then it's going to go to the D sharp minor and the C sharp minor. And that's just the 1, 3, 2 progression. And as far as the chords being minor, that does happen in those scale degree positions. So when you're talking about a major scale, the first chord, the tonic chord, is always going to be major in a major scale. The second scale degree is going to be minor, and the third scale degree is always going to be minor. If you want to know more about how chords end up being based on the note spacing, you can check out my previous video I did about learning music theory, and I talk about triads in a major key, so you can check that out. So there's nothing weird there. It's pretty typical. Everything is in B major. So that chorus is going to have this reggae feel. And then the verses go to the second chord, that C sharp minor, to the first chord, the B major. So it just is a cadence going 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 the whole time, which helps solidify the key even more. We could say that's sort of like an imperfect kind of cadence, because it's not, a 4 going to a 1 or a 5 going to a 1, which would be a much stronger cadence. So it's a little bit less, it's not as strong as a 4 or 5 to 1, but it works for this tune and makes that chorus pop a little bit better. So let's get back into it. So after the chorus, it goes into the verse. C sharp. And that's it for the verse. Now, what I'm doing with my picking hand is you can do it with upstrokes. I personally don't like that. I like the feel of the downstroke and muting it, so you get the click with the muted strings, and then so it's 1 and, so they're eighth notes. I'm playing in eighth notes. I'm going 1 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Just eighth notes, mute, and then let the chord ring out. And as far as the picking technique that I use the very tip of the pick. Not everybody plays that way. I've seen lots of different styles of picking. I prefer this style because it leaves my hand in a relaxed position, almost completely natural, as if I was actually finger picking or something. And so it's the same exact position that my hand is in when I'm doing finger picking. I'm just using a pick, so I prefer that. And then sometimes they go to this A, we'll say A major. There's no third in power chords, so that's sort of the third determines, what its gender is, so to speak, major, minor, diminished, what have you. So we could say it's just A major. Sometimes they play to get back into the chorus. And so if we think about the key, we have B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and then B. So if we think about that A chord, it's not A sharp, that would be this. And they do. So it's definitely not in the key of B major. Now, like I said, there's no third, so we can't exactly determine what the gender, or so to speak, of that chord is. But that's the beautiful part about it, is because it doesn't pull you one way or the other, so that you can play around with the key a little bit without completely leaving it. So that's the beauty of using power chords, is you can fit a lot of stuff over top of it, or with a melody or a solo, or make things a little ambiguous as you're moving through. Make it generate a little interest in the tune. So it's not the same thing over and over and over again, because often with these songs there's usually 3 or 4 chords. So that A chord gives it a little ambiguity. And if we think about where that is, where does that come from? First thing I always go to is it's 5 somewhere, so where is it? And so if you go A is 5, G is 4, F is 3, E is 2, D is 1. That means D major, which has F sharps and C sharps, has less sharps than B major. A major comes from D major. Now, the cool thing about D major, it does have less sharps, but they're all a little related in a sense. They're nearby each other, because you have D major, and then if you think about its relative minor, if you go down a minor third, then you're going to have B minor. And then if you think about B major, and we go, so I mean, you have D major, B minor, we're in B major. So there's it's not really close together, but there's a little bit of a relationship there. It's just less sharps. So that A major is going to have a more ambiguous kind of feel. It's not going to pull one way or the other, because there's no third. And it goes back. And so why they're doing that is to just make it a little ambiguous, where you're not quite sure where it's going, just to make the chorus pop even more, because the emphasis on this song is that chorus. So because everybody would be singing along together. Take warning, take warning. So that's pretty cool. It's a borrowed chord. Comes from D major. And another part of this song is where it goes into minor. Now, you would think it would go, maybe it would go B minor, but it actually goes into E minor. And they sort of just jump to that E minor. And so they play the full chord, the full bar chord, E minor chord. I heard another bomb go off last night, take warning. That part. And they just literally jump into E minor. They just jump right into that key. And then there's a little solo thing that they do. And it's basically just the E minor scale. It goes boom. Then they do this cool thing where it kind of slides into the... And they're just playing around with the E minor scale. So if you can play, E minor in a couple different places. A good place to learn it would be E here, and you have F sharp, so 1 finger, 3rd finger. Then you have G, so far we have F sharp. And then if you go A, B, C, and then D, E. So 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Or for frets, it would be 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7. Sorry, 9, 7, 9. So you can play it there. You can also play that same scale over here in the 2nd fret area, which is where I play this riff for no other reason than I think it's comfortable to play there. But it's going on E, then it goes to B, G, F sharp, E, and then it goes to that E again. And it's just playing around with that. So if you think about like the scale degrees, it's going 1, and F, G, A, 5. So 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. 1, 5, 3, 2, 1 are the scale degrees that it's messing around with. That's it. I mean, you could say that's a solo. I would just say it's like a little diddly. I don't know. I don't think it's really a solo. Just to make the part more interesting. And it goes right back. Thanks for watching. If you found something in this video valuable to you, feel free to give me a like, share my video, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys.